Everyone loves a good fairy tale. In Kofu City in Japan, they tell the story of a team that made it to the top of the mountain. And they know a thing or two about mountains. Their city is overlooked by the great sight of Mount Fuji. And it was last year the Ventforet Kofu made it all the way to the metaphorical top of the metaphorical footballing mountain in Japan. The Emperor's Cup winners, an extraordinary triumph. A second division team that now takes on Melbourne City at the Melbourne Rectangular Stadium in the AFC Champions League group stage. It simply wasn't supposed to happen. They played first division opposition in every round apart from the second round, their first match. After dispatching a university team, away fixture after away fixture against top-tier clubs followed. They won them all, and in a penalty competition beat Ventforet Hiroshima to win the biggest trophy in the club's history. Their reward is to travel to Melbourne to take on one of the great teams in Australia, a team that has accomplished so much. A team that has won the Premiership 3 years in a row and who won the A-League Championship in 2021. Ventforet Kofu don't care in the slightest about being underdogs. In fact, they revel in it. It's where they're at their best. They only finished 18th in the Japanese second division last season. They're 7th at the moment. They have no track record to speak of. But who cares when you're these players? Who cares when you've proven you can win the Emperor's Cup? Who cares when you live in Kofu, stare at Mount Fuji, and you know the way to the top? Whatever the weather. It's a joyous day as well for the home team. They're thrilled to welcome the visiting fans of Ventforet Kofu, and they're thrilled to be hosting an AFC Champions League match for the first time. Melbourne City made it to the competition last year. They were second in Group G with 12 points. It was a very good performance. They were one of the small number of second-place teams who didn't go through to the knockout stage. So they know how tough and how beguiling a group stage can be, how things can seem like they're going very well until suddenly you're going no further. But what players they have. A lot of experience, people who've played in the AFC Champions League, people who've played in the UEFA Champions League. And their opponents only have one player in the starting lineup who's played a full campaign in the AFC Champions League. They look very relaxed when they arrived. They're thrilled to have so many of their travelling fans with them. And they've talked, these players, about what an absolute privilege it is to play in this competition. How just overjoyed they are, they can barely believe they've made it. But one thing is clear, the Ventforet Kofu players are extremely good at being excited and being honoured and then getting rid of all of those emotions and getting on with the match and winning the match. When they take on bigger clubs, they show no fear. And they'll need to bring that spirit into Group H of the AFC Champions League. Radomir Vidosic's team will be confident that they can overpower Ventforet Kofu. But they will have, probably like so many fans of this competition, have discovered this Japanese team for the first time when the draw was made. A lot of people immediately went to their phones and computers and tried to work out who is this team that we've never heard of before? This team that's never made it out of their domestic league, that's never graced continental competition. And then they read the story and became enchanted by it and started to become a little worried. This is a good team. And the core group of players that won the Emperors' Cup, they're still here. And they've been joined by some well-judged acquisitions. There is a chance now that Ventforet Kofu might make it into the playoffs and get up to J1 next season. They're certainly performing way better than they did last year in the league. The AFC Champions League has begun for the 42nd time, the flagship club competition in Asia, and we are in Australia for a meeting between Melbourne City and Japan's Ventforet Kofu, who make their debut in continental competition after a stunning win in the Emperors' Cup last season. Never did they dream that they would be doing this, these fans. Never could they have imagined that they would board a plane and travel all the way to Melbourne for an AFC Champions League match. When they beat the International Pacific University 5-1 in their first Emperors' Cup game last season. This seemed a million miles away, but they're here now, taking on Melbourne City, a dominant force in football in their country. The runners-up in the grand final last season. It's going to be a very exciting game, and it's great to have your company for all of the action from the Melbourne Rectangular Stadium. The rain is coming down, but spirits will not be dampened for either of these teams. Melbourne City hosting a Champions League game for the first time, and Ventforet Kofu playing in continental competition for the first time. Matthew Leckie isn't available for Melbourne City today, but number 44, Marin Jakolic, will be a threat up front, having joined on loan earlier in the summer. That's one number 9 and captain Jamie McLaren, who scored a fantastic 24 goals in the league last season. Put simply, this is an exciting and dangerous team. The question is, how quickly will the new signings gel? Salman Ahmad Falahi of Qatar is the referee. There aren't many of the Ventforet Kofu squad who have played in the AFC Champions League. The only one in the starting lineup who scored is number 8, Kosuke Taketomi, who played 9 times and scored 4 for Kashiwa Reysol in 2015 as they reached the quarter-finals. The captain today is number 23, Masahiro Sekiguchi, one of a number of players who joined the club directly after graduation from university. On the bench for Ventforet Kofu is number 4, Hideomi Yamamoto, the 43-year-old club captain who scored the winning penalty kick in the Emperors' Cup final last season in one of Japanese football's greatest ever fairy tale moments. The captains, Jamie McLaren and Masahiro Sekiguchi. Yoshiki Torikai, who scored the extra time winner in the quarter-finals of the Emperors' Cup against Avispa Fukuoka, played in all 6 games. And there, the man who scored 24 times in the league last season. In goal, Jamie Young, who joined in August from Western United, also in Melbourne. And we look at Riku Iijima. He actually scored in the first match, that 5-1 win against the International Pacific University in the Emperors' Cup run, the run that took them all the way to the title. Michael Wood from Auckland in New Zealand in goal for Ventforet Kofu. Match day 1 in Group H of the 42nd AFC Champions League. Melbourne City hosting Ventforet Kofu of Japan. Melbourne City in possession and welcoming a team to the Melbourne Rectangular Stadium for the first time ever in the AFC Champions League. 3-time consecutive Premiership winners. And they're taking on the team that won the Emperor's Cup last season. Second division, Ventforet Kofu, currently 7th in J2. They finished, would you believe, 18th in the league last year. And then went on in the end-of-season finale to win the Emperor's Cup against Ventforet Hiroshima on a penalty competition. Radomir Vidosic, the head coach of Melbourne City, became permanent in February after a caretaker spell. Very good time in charge of the Melbourne City women for 4 years before that. Callum Talbot. Number 44 is Marin Jakulic for Melbourne City, who has joined recently on loan. Parent club is Angers in France. 22 is Curtis Good, born in this city. Actually played for the old Melbourne Heart, the predecessor of this team. (29) for Ventforet Kofu. Kaito Kamiya, another of the loan players in this match today. He's on loan from Kawasaki Frontale. Was part of the team that won the Japanese First Division in 2021, as we have a look at Yoshiyuki Shinoda, the head coach of Ventforet Kofu. Ball moved to Riku Iijima. Number 8 is Kosuke Taketomi, who played for Kashiwa Reysol in the 2015 AFC Champions League, the only player in the starting lineup for the Japanese side who's actually scored in this competition. And coming well forward is Shion Inoue from the back, and eventually it's cleared. Slightly heavy touch from Taketomi. And this was the drive forward from number 49, Shion Inoue, in his first season at the club. He started 23 times in J2. And just to give a little context for the accomplishment, as Melbourne City are being a little risky in their own defensive third, it's only the 4th time that a J2 team has won the Emperor's Cup, the most prestigious cup competition in Japan, and the oldest as well. It's the oldest football competition in the country. The first time since 2011 that it's been done. It was FC Tokyo who did it then. Cleared by Inoue. And the win of Ventforet Kofu in the final against Ventforet Hiroshima made it the first time that a team from J2 won the Emperor's Cup without actually winning the league as well. Ventforet Kofu were only 11 points clear of relegation. It's one of those stories that starts as a fairy tale, and the more you investigate it, it quickly passes into outright mythology. Yakolish. And then fired over the top, the first attempt from Melbourne City. Stephen Ugarkovic, who joined the club this summer from Wellington Phoenix after a year there. Not easy to take. A little pressure coming in from Koya Hayashida. Michael Wood, 24-year-old, on loan from Kyoto Sanga. Joined the club just over a month ago. It's just his second appearance in goal for Ventforet Kofu. Now out wide is Yakolish, but instead the option is taken to play it to the other flank, and it is cleared by Kazuhiro Sato. The experienced 32-year-old getting back. And there is the captain, Sekiguchi. What a lovely ball this is, an opportunity, and deflected onto the roof of the net. Kohei Matsumoto, the player freed. Good ball from Sekiguchi and controlled nicely by the 29-year-old. Joined the club this season. Yet to actually score for them in any competition. He really has journeyed all around the leagues to get to this stage. He played in the 4th tier outside of the J-League. Last season he was in J3, and now he's in the AFC Champions League and very nearly scored a goal. Corner kick comes off the post. Not sure who got the crucial touch to send it onto the post, whether it was a Ventforet Kofu player or a Melbourne City one, but that was a narrow escape for the home team. Talbot. Just acknowledged there, Callum Talbot, that he might have had a better ball forwards to play. They're an extremely impassioned and hard-working team, Ventforet Kofu. And there's evidence of it in the first 8 minutes as Yoshiyuki Shinoda watches on. It looked like it was off a defender. Yakolish. Hamzasaki. Yakolish wins the corner kick as Koya Hayashida comes over to make the block. Hamzasaki on loan from Auxerre in France with the corner. And that's going to be volleyed by Aziz Bejic. Number 6, Stephen Ugarkovic, puts it back in, and it's not too troubling for Michael Wood. Nicely controlled by Taketomi, finds Iwana Kobayashi, who wears number 6, and it's a good ball to Yoshiki Torikai. Torikai has Taketomi as an option and tries to find him, and a little slip there from Kosuke Taketomi. the right idea, certainly. Yoshiki Torikai, who scored that quarter-final winner in extra time against Avispa Fukuoka in the Emperor's Cup last season. It will be Iwana Kobayashi to take the corner kick. Easily cleared. It falls to Torikai. Goes back to the captain, Sekiguchi. Inoue with the header. And the flag is up. Certainly nothing to contest there. Taken well by Kobayashi and played early, maybe a little too early. A chance nonetheless from the edge of the area. It was Yoshiki Torikai, and his shot was then deflected, I think, by Riku Iijima. Iijima, one of the university graduates. Yes, it indeed was him. Quite a lot of the Ventforet Kofu players have come to the club directly from university. And those of you who follow Japanese football will know that, much like the United States of America and its collegiate system, Japanese university sport is huge. And a lot of the Japanese players don't really start to make their debuts in J1 until they are 23, 24, after they've come through the university system, where a lot of them play in the Emperor's Cup. I think it was Ryutsu Keizai University, the last one to actually play in the old Japanese Football League. As Sekiguchi delivers, looking for Matsumoto. There's the 25-year-old who graduated from Hosei University and joined the club in 2020. Played in the final when they won the Emperor's Cup against Sanfrecce. But at the moment, Melbourne City not finding it easy to break down Ventforet Kofu. Is Aziz Bayic from Melbourne, joined the club last month from Dundee United. He's played in Turkey and the Netherlands. Winner of the AFC Asian Cup with Australia in 2015. That brilliant performance by the Australian national team as Talbot has the ball, gets it back. Ugarkovic moves it on quickly. Is Tolgay Arslan, who joined from Udinese this summer. Cleared by Sekiguchi. Ugarkovic keeps it alive though, it's now with Yakulic. Has it back. Quite get that under control with Riku Iijima. So Melbourne City keep possession. The story of the opening 15 minutes, one of a tight game with very few significant chances. Is there going to be one here as Ijima has some options and finds Kohei Matsumoto? Very good save from Jamie Young. Kohei Matsumoto close to a first ever goal for Ventforet Kofu, the player who was in the Japanese third tier last season at Kamatamare Sanuki. And he did judge that run well. And the goalkeeper, the 38-year-old, a good tip away, though perhaps with the feeling that Kohei Matsumoto could have made life a lot more difficult for Jamie Young. Another corner kick for Ventforet Kofu. Young gets a touch. They've got some very good attacking options on the substitutes bench, the Japanese team. And for Melbourne City, there's a very bright young prospect on the bench. There's an attacker in Max Caputo, 18-year-old. Looking like a very good young player developing. Takatomi. Torekai to Kazuhiro Sato. Kobayashi, who's had a good game so far, just lacked the potency of that delivery, needs a little more pace on it. Koya Hayashida goes laterally to Kobayashi, who's very much at the heart of how Ventforet Kofu are trying to build up their attacks from wide. Sato, clever ball. And unexpectedly, it comes back to Yoshiki Torekai. It looked as though he'd rather muddled things in the first place. A let-off there for Okarkovic. It's been a bright start. Ijima holds the ball and waits for a good option. It is Matsumoto, passes it to Torekai. Oh, one back well by Sekiguchi. Doesn't make the most of it. Nuno Reis clearing easily. Again, the ball given away by Melbourne City, who are making a few errors at the back. Taking rather too long to clear the danger. They break over the halfway line now. Torekai holds it well. Kobayashi's cross was a little more pacey, but lacking the trajectory, gathered easily by Jamie Young. Those of you watching Ventforet Kofu for the first time, which I expect is many of you, if not the majority of you, the origin of the name comes from, as is the case with a lot of Japanese clubs, imported words from great football powers. In this case, it's French. So the windy forest, Ventforet. And it actually comes from the feudal era, and a phrase, Feu Udin Kazan, that a feudal lord had on his banners during Japan's feudal era several hundred years ago. So the idea is it's as swift as the wind, as silent as a forest, as fierce as fire, and as immovable as a mountain. It's one of the great joys of Japanese football is delving into the etymology of the club names. There's some fabulous ones. Nuno Reis, Portuguese player, joined a couple of years ago after a career all over the world. Levski Sofia in Bulgaria, his previous club. Definitely a foul on Ijima by Steven Ugarkovic. And a yellow card as well for the player from Balcombe Hills in New South Wales. Could be a rather difficult remainder of the game for Ugarkovic, considering the pace of some of the Ventforet Kofu players and the potential for a second yellow card. They've just got to be quick. Foul anyway from Matsumoto. Seems to really cause some pain to Aziz Beige. Seven times on the bench in the UEFA Champions League, Aziz Beige, and he's waited a long time for his AFC Champions League debut, having been a substitute 6 times for Melbourne Victory in 2010. We talk about people who've waited a long time for things, and Koei Matsumoto is also one of them. And you think that after his graduation from university in 2017, he journeyed all around the lower leagues. Now there's a good chance here for the right sort of pullback. Instead it's a shot straight at Michael Wood, who saves comfortably. I wonder if there were better lateral options. Beige. No free kick, to the displeasure of the Melbourne City fans, who do not at all approve of Salman Ahmad Falahani's decision. A better spell as we arrive at roughly the halfway mark of the first half and factoring in additional time. Better for the hosts. And some space here for the fullback, Callum Talbot. Can he find the right sort of ball? Maybe just delayed a moment. Was there an earlier option to play that in? Garkovic, and in the end, they have to reset and start all over again. It's Curtis Good. And possession given away. A frustrating attack there for the home team. Nuno Reis forced back to Jamie Young. What an important save Jamie Young made from Kohei Matsumoto. Talbot, who broke forward so impressively in that attack. And he's good at doing it. Just muscled away from the ball was Alessandro Lopane. Kobayashi. A foul by Arslan, and it'll be a free kick to Ventforet Kofu as we get close to the half-an-hour mark. Kobayashi. He's not been a complete first-choice starter, Iwana Kobayashi, this season. 19 appearances in the league, 13 of them starts. Sekiguchi, well saved by Jamie Young, the captain, having a go from quite some distance. Only 2 goals in all competitions for Ventforet Kofu. And the last of those was in November of 2021. And looking quite assured so far, the experienced goalkeeper, who was a youth international player for England. One imagines they've enjoyed themselves so far, the visiting fans, as another corner kick is delivered, and it will come to Kobayashi, who can't make anything of it. He's a very local player, Iwana Kobayashi, from Yamanashi Prefecture, which is where Kofu is the largest city, or the capital city. Very beautiful part of Japan. Fabulous mountainous and verdant scenery. Hence the reference to the forests in the name of the team. Not that Melbourne doesn't have its own fair share of beautiful scenery. Wonderful city. Very different from Kofu, which is a small settlement of a couple of 100,000 people, to the massive size of Melbourne, numbering several million. Hamza Saki. Yakulish out on the right. Goes now to Arslan. Now it does make its way to Marin Yakulish with an opportunity to shoot, and it was a difficult one for anyone to read because there were plenty of Ventforet Kofu players in front of the ball. So had that been on target, it might have been tricky for Michael Wood to really see it. I think it was Kobayashi who touched it. Another chance for Hamza Saki, the 27-year-old born in Morocco, to deliver, and it deceived everyone. A touch came from the Japanese player, so Hamza Saki trots over to the other side. He made his debut for the club in the Australian Cup on the 27th of August in the win against Wellington Phoenix. With the corner kick, Hamza Saki flicked towards the back post and well cleared by Masahiro Sekiguchi. It will surely come back in again. This is Nuno Reis. Reis's ball goes all the way to Marin Yakulish. Yakulish has Saki as an overlap, instead tries to go into the area, and it's just conservatively cleared by Ventforet Kofu, who haven't had a great deal of possession, but have had some opportunities, particularly that chance for Matsumoto, and he was one-on-one with Jamie Young. And the long-range effort as well from Sekiguchi. They've made it very difficult, the Japanese second division team, as you'd expect. Quick ball, cleverly played. Another opportunity perhaps for Matsumoto, and he can't get real power on the shot. A real trump card is on the substitutes bench for Ventforet Kofu in Getulio, the Brazilian on loan from Tombense. Could be the sort of game-changing impact player required as we go into the second half. And there's also the veteran Peter Utaka, who scored 11 times in the league already this season. So far, Melbourne City have contained Ventforet Kofu for a lot of the game, whilst also being contained themselves. But they must be warned that the Japanese side has some interesting potential when it comes to their substitutes. Takatomi, clever little pass, just overhit. Spotted Yoshiki Torikai well. Only had a fraction too much power on it. Melbourne City have moved the ball around so much more than Ventforet Kofu, but a lot of the passes have been quite low-risk ones from the Japanese team's perspective, and quite low-impact ones. And they've been forced to move it around a lot as well. Played by Curtis Good. It should be Kobayashi's ball. Controlled well by Todekai. Little pressure on Kaito Kamiya. Young gets it back. It's all slightly risky for Melbourne City, but they've managed to control the ball well and have the chance to build up an attack, and then there was a rather aimless ball. And here it is with Todekai. Was he fouled? He was. A free kick to Ventforet Kofu in a position of some consequence. Was a glancing blow, shall we say, from Curtis Good at best. Kazuhiro Sato with the right foot, or Iwana Kobayashi with the left. We shall discover. It's a very good position for Ventforet Kofu. And the free kick is a brilliant one off the bar from Kazuhiro Sato. Jamie Young had to spectate. He wasn't getting near it. It was so well taken. Another good chance for the Japanese second division team. Kobayashi. And there is Kazuhiro Sato, who curled that free kick so beautifully against the crossbar. What good play. He's only scored one goal in the league this season. And it was so close. Just needed to drop a few inches. Not a chance that Jamie Young was going to reach that ball. Takatomi moves it quickly. They play with a sense of purpose. But Melbourne City have got players who can counter-attack equally sharply. Jamie McLaren hasn't been hugely involved yet, the captain of Melbourne City. But he's the sort of player who will just suddenly score out of nowhere. Now, it's fallen to Takatomi. Thought about a shot for a moment, didn't he? Koya Hayashida, and then ends up doing not very much. Fourteenth appearance in the AFC Champions League for Jamie Young. All of the previous 13 for Brisbane Roar between 2015 and 2018. He spent 7 years at the club. And as I mentioned at the start of the match. Only 2 players in the starting lineup for Ventforet Kofu have actually played in this competition before. One of them is number 8, Kosuke Taketomi, who scored 4 goals for Kashiwa Reysol in 2015. And also number 29, Kaito Kamiya, in defence. Played a couple of games for Kawasaki Frontale in 2021. And there is the fantastic Jamie McLaren, 30-year-old. Joined the club in 2019 after a 2-year spell in Germany with Darmstadt 98. He scored 5 goals in previous AFC Champions League campaigns. We inch closer to the halfway point of the match. No score thus far. The best chances have been, despite their lack of possession, for the visitors, Ventforet Kofu. Young was looking for Yakolish. Well controlled by Tolga Arslan. That's excellent play, and it doesn't come to anything. Sekiguchi intercepting well. Ayashida. That's good movement of the ball, really nice. Taketomi has Kobayashi wide. And he took a little too long to find Kobayashi, who has to interrupt his run. Not so easy to get the cross in now. So he has to go back to Koya Hayashida. They started the move so well, though, the team in blue. Quite deep at the moment, Riku Iijima. And here is Kaito Kamiya. Kobayashi to Taketomi. Taketomi will try to find Riku Iijima. Asked a little too much of the 23-year-old, perhaps. Meanwhile, this is Jamie McLaren, who looks to have beaten the offside trap. Miscommunication perhaps between Shion Inoue and Michael Wood. I think Inoue wanted the goalkeeper to come. Dangerous position for a moment there to find Jamie McLaren in. Callum Talbot will take the throw for Melbourne City with little time left in the first half. Nuno Reis. Headed away by Iwana Kobayashi. Graduated from Senshu University in 2018 before going directly to Ventforet Kofu. Certainly a foul by Riku Iijima. The free kick will come from Tolgay Arslan from Paderborn in Germany. Debut in the AFC Champions League, having played in the UEFA Champions League and the UEFA Europa League in Turkey. Tolgay Arslan as we get close to half-time and Melbourne City get close to a chance. It looks as though we're going to have a scoreless first half. Indeed we are. Good opportunities for both teams, particularly for Ventforet Kofu. Kohei Matsumoto had an excellent chance early on. The captain Masahiro Sekiguchi also went close from long range. There were some chances for Melbourne City as well, saved by Michael Wood. All of it meaning we've got a lot still to come. At half-time it's Melbourne City 0, Ventforet Kofu 0.
Korea and Vietnam, or D, People's Republic of China and Australia? That's D. Definitely D, you got it? Alright, let's have a look. Has he got it? D, well done! 2 out of 2. Not even Google. Alright, we've got one more. Let's see if we can make that a hat-trick. Question 3, everybody. Which team did Young Hyundai defeat in the 2016 AFC Champions League final? Is it A, LA, B, LA, C, Alina, or D, Adna? Bit of a curly one. Here we go. I think that one time might have been the one time. Let's have a look and see if he's got a correct answer. Alex, 3 out of 3. Congratulations. You can see you've sit there. We've got some new novelty here for your wardrobe. Look at all the pictures, not too bad. You going to share them with anyone? Well, everybody,
The second half shortly to begin as Melbourne City of Australia take on Ventforet Kofu of Japan on match day 1 in Group H. It's the 42nd AFC Champions League. A tight game. Young Harry Politidis, one of the players who might be called into action. Perhaps some changes coming for Yoshiyuki Shinoda's team. But there's no doubt that the crowd is delighted to welcome a team to the Melbourne Rectangular Stadium for an AFC Champions League tie for the first time. And here is a very important player in the history of Ventforet Kofu coming on, a youngster, just 23, from Fuchu, a commuter town in the west of Tokyo. The name is Juma Miyazaki, and he's well known to those that watched the Emperor's Cup last season because he scored the goal that beat the Kashima Antlers to get Ventforet Kofu to the final. He is a hugely popular figure at the club for very obvious reasons. It was an iconic moment in the club's history, a history that began in 1965, 58 years ago, when they were founded as the old boys club of Kofu Daiichi High School. And he came straight from high school to the J-League, didn't go to university. The second half begins as Melbourne City take on Ventforet Kofu. Teams from Australia and Japan meeting on match day 1 in Group H of the AFC Champions League 2023-2024. This is the East region, and it's a great pleasure to have your company from whatever region you're watching and whoever you're supporting. Thank you for enjoying all of the action in this fantastic and dynamic, dramatic club competition. And a lovely core group of visiting supporters gathered to see their team play improbably in the AFC Champions League, despite being a second division side in the Japanese league system. Kosuke Taketomi, the player replaced at half-time by Juma Miyazaki, who scored the winning goal in the semi-final of the Emperor's Cup. Michael Wood with the free kick. Headed by Shion Inoue. Chasing it and winning it, Sekiguchi couldn't quite get back to his feet and do something with it, but good play from the captain of Ventforet Kofu. The club captain, Hideomi Yamamoto, is on the bench. The 43-year-old who scored the penalty that won the Emperor's Cup. An extraordinary moment that's entered Japanese football folklore. Sekiguchi's cross is a good one. Saki tries to bring it out now for Melbourne City, who might counter, cut out well though by Kobayashi. Back with 23-year-old Shion Inoue. Kamiya. 26 is Kazuhiro Sato. Plays it to Torekai. It will be Ventforet Kofu ball. Nuno Reis coming across. And how long will it be until more attacking changes are made by Yoshiyuki Shinoda, such as Getulio or Utaka? As is Beige with the throw, goes back to Curtis Good. Arslan. Fair few players coming forward. It's touched actually by Sato. Melbourne City know all too well from last year's experience that it is very difficult to get out of the group stage of an AFC Champions League. Level on points with the group winners. Only 2 goals fewer scored. It was so close, and yet they still did not feature in the knockout stage. Bayage goes back to Curtis Good, joined the club in 2018 from Newcastle United. He's already actually scored this season in their most recent game before this, the win in the Cup against Metro Stars. His 7th goal in all competitions for Melbourne City. Sekiguchi playing in quite a safe way at the moment, Ventforet Kofu. Sato has it back. Good opportunity this. And in the end, the substitute, Juma Miyazaki, doesn't really strike the ball with a great deal of clarity. First time we've seen him get involved. Slightly caught out the defence coming in from the left wing. It was a nicely constructed attack, though, from the Japanese side. Garkovic. Drifting forward was Alessandro Lopane, trying to anticipate a long ball. It looked like a handball from Riku Iijima, and indeed it was. Sato. There is space out wide. It was Kobayashi on the left. Instead, it's gone across to the right. And look at the powerful overlapping run from Sekiguchi to try to draw the defenders away. Half worked. Sekiguchi has it back, linking up with Torekai, but that's offside. Overcomplicated that somewhat. As we look at Yoshiki Torekai from Fujisawa in Kanagawa Prefecture, neighbouring Tokyo. Some lovely places in Japan in the prefectures around Tokyo. Lots of quite charming commuter towns and more rural settlements, all very close to the giant city itself, one of the great megalopoli of the world. Loose ball goes to Ugalkovic. Clear shove in the back from Koya Hayashida. Nothing really of note from an attacking sense for Melbourne City in this half, and most of the best chances have been for the visitors. But you dare not write off Melbourne City when they have players like Jamie McLaren. It's so useful to have a goal scorer of that quality. Something that so many teams can only dream of. Arslan Garkovic. Bajic holding the ball well, but finding it difficult to construct anything due to the discipline of Ventforet Kofu. May well be that changes are incoming for Melbourne City. There are some warm-ups taking place. Inoue, skillfully done. And pushed out to Yoshiki Todekai. Slightly heavy touch from number 11, Kohei Matsumoto, whose one-on-one opportunity with Jamie Young in the first half still is at the forefront of the minds, I think, of many of the Ventforet Kofu fans. Chance came right in front of them as well. They're in that corner that is now being attacked by Melbourne City. Lapane, very good young player, just 19, joined this summer on a 2-year deal from the Western Sydney Wanderers. There's a 1-year extension that's a possibility as well. Extremely promising player, number 21 for Melbourne City. They've done well to acquire him. And Kazuhiro Sato has done well to acquire the ball there. Big overlap coming, and lots of options. The captain, Sekiguchi, wants it. Instead, the shot is beautifully saved by Jamie Young from Yoshiki Todekai. All the attention was on Masahiro Sekiguchi coming up on the right flank, and maybe some space was created as a result. That might have even been deflected by Good. Whatever happened, it was a wonderful save from Young. And now the substitution made. Kohei Matsumoto replaced by Peter Yutaka. The 39-year-old from Nigeria, who rejoined the club in January after a very successful 2019 where he scored 21 goals. And he's already scored 12 times this season, 11 of them in the league. And he has played in this competition before, scoring 3 for Beijing Guoan in the 2014 season. It'll be a very different sort of force in attack. Should be played back comfortably, and it is by Torikai. Jamie Young's had a good game for Melbourne City in his first Champions League appearance for them. Fair challenge from Utaka, and Utaka's ball is clever. Miyazaki, the two substitutes combining. And the delivery is a little too powerful. And a reminder of this excellent save from Jamie Young. The 38-year-old who, before his time in his home country, had a career in the United Kingdom, playing for Reading, Wycombe Wanderers, Aldershot, Basingstoke, Whitehawk, Hayes and Yeading. A whole range of teams in various leagues. As is Bayage. Has it back and is forced back. Curtis Good. Thought about the early ball. Around about half an hour left of this first match for both of these nations in the 2023-2024 AFC Champions League. Yakolish. Bayage. Difficult, isn't it, for Melbourne City just to get the ball in. Arslan might try to shoot and does. It is deflected behind for a corner kick to Melbourne City. And just as was the case in the first half, it will be Hamza Saki to try to test Michael Wood with the corner kick. Hamza Saki's ball is flicked on, and it takes a couple of touches. The last one off the Ventforet Kofu player in front of goal. There were some brief considerations from some of the Melbourne City fans and players as to whether that was a handball. And certainly, if there's any possibility of it, it will be scrutinised by Meshadi Ali Al-Shamari, the official in charge of the video review system. Bayage. Hamza Saki. Arslan. It was his shot that led to the corner kick in the first place. A stronger spell, a more imposing spell from Melbourne City. Can they create a clear goal-scoring chance from it? They can if they get it to him, Jamie McLaren. Falling as he was striking, not getting much power, to the relief of many a Ventforet Kofu fan. Certainly some positive impact from Juma Miyazaki since coming on. McLaren in space, a tight angle and good defending from Kaito Kamiya. Another corner kick to Melbourne City, who are becoming invigorated in this game. Hamza Saki. The flick on will be cleared eventually by Sekiguchi, but only as far as McLaren. It's a little messy defensively. It's very messy defensively from Ventforet Kofu. Slightly scrambly a feeling to that from the J2 team. They got it away just about. Riku Ijima departing after working very hard to be replaced by the very experienced Kazushi Mitsuhira. The 35-year-old who joined the club in 2021 after a couple of spells at Oita Trinita, along with time at Shonan Bellmare and Kyoto Sanga. And he scored the crucial goal in the Emperor's Cup final against Sanfrecce Hiroshima that ultimately took the game into a penalty competition. 8 goals in the league this season for Mitsuhira, so a very valuable player to be able to bring on. And given away. And then just about recovered with Peter Utaka having half a chance to create something. It didn't last. Kobayashi trying to link up with Mitsuhira, the substitute. Steven Ugarkovic getting in the way. Still no changes have been made by Radomir Vidosic. Young floats the ball to Bajic. Inoue with time and just about enough pace on that as McLaren was trying to close down Wood. The loose ball picked up by Koya Hayashida. He plays a slightly loose pass to Miyazaki, but he's held on to it. Miyazaki to Utaka. And from the edge of the area, the shot just goes straight into a Melbourne City player. Good turn from McLaren. Real effort though from Sekiguchi to force Saki back and to allow Ventforet Kofu the opportunity to regroup defensively. whether there's some space here and less, and he's done very well. Kofu can come across, which is exactly as he did. Had to concede the corner kick to be sure, though. Well-timed run. The ball wasn't really travelling enough pace for him to be confident of being able to shepherd it out. So Hamza Saki with another opportunity from the corner kick for Melbourne City. The corners have been quite promising, but it was cleared by the substitute Mitsuhira. That time by Inoue. Quite promising without really amounting to a huge opportunity. That's coolly done by Otaka. The right ball to Sato. Sato needs some help and has it from Sekiguchi. Players coming forward for Ventforet Kofu. Otaka might try and get an opportunity to shoot and was closed down well. The game suddenly seeing a little more space. Could make for an exciting finish if it carries on like that. Certainly for Yoshiyuki Shinoda, leading a second division team in their first game in the AFC Champions League, and for many of these players, their first ever footballing trip overseas. It's very credible to leave this match with a point. And that's where things can become very interesting in a match like this, where for Melbourne City perhaps there is greater incentive or expectation that they'll push to win the game, and clear evidence that Ventforet Kofu have got counter-attacking pace. Yakolish. Trying to link up with McLaren and just about does it, but it's well defended. Strong performances from Kaito Kamiya and Shion Inoue. They've done well at the heart of the Ventforet Kofu defence. Inoue thought about the ball back to Michael Wood, but saw Jamie McLaren lurking and made a wise call. Good. Garkovic. Arslan. And it goes to Lopane. Now to Ugarkovic again. And once more, well, that time the free kick has been given against Ventforet Kofu. I was going to say once more they deal with the pressure, but they dealt with it a little too forcefully in the view of Salman Ahmad Falahi. Wasn't well controlled from Iwana Kobayashi. With around 20 minutes left, a chance for a quality delivery from Tolgay Arslan. McLaren is there, also forward from defence, Nuno Reis. Michael Wood has not been enormously tested thus far. Curtis Good on the edge of the area. Tolga Arslan with the free kick for Melbourne City as we get closer to the end of the match. It's headed back and jabbed away by Kaito Kamiya. Ugarkovic does very well, and another strong piece of defending, this time from Inoue. The two centre-backs have been excellent. And now the substitution. Alessandro Lopane, the 19-year-old who has so much promise, departs to be replaced by Terry Antonis, 29-year-old from Bankstown in Sydney, who joined the club this summer. Departed the Western Sydney Wanderers, just as Alessandro Lopane did. He's actually played for the Melbourne Victory, Terry Antonis, along with various overseas spells in Greece, the Netherlands and the Republic of Korea. He's a very experienced player who has played in the AFC Champions League 13 times before today. Arslan linking up with McLaren well. And the ball just goes over the top of McLaren and not close enough to Jakolic to be a danger. First involvement of Terry Antonis. Looks like the flag was up anyway. Olympian Michael Wood, who played all of New Zealand's matches in Tokyo. And Kofu is a city to the west of Tokyo, at a couple of 100 kilometres. What a good ball to Masahiro Sekiguchi, who plays it quickly, a little too quickly. Mitsuhiro was the target. Hayashida. Flicked nicely by Sekiguchi for the substitute. It was Miyazaki, now it's Utaka, and it's a corner kick coming for Ventforet Kofu. Get the feeling, don't you, that he will get a chance, because he tends to get one. He's scored over 200 goals in around 500 appearances for all clubs in his career. There was a slight tug of the shirt by Nuno Reis. Ventforet Kofu, corner kick that's dealt with well by Melbourne City. Sekiguchi noticing that his teammate Hayashida had gone down and was trying to get the attention of the referee. I think we're now going to possibly see a change made. Taka, out-jumped by Curtis Good. One back by Mitsuhira. Taka. The chase is on, and that's going to be comfortably won by Shioninoe, who keeps it simple. Good decision not to take any risks in that sort of position. Saki. Just over 10 minutes until additional time comes into play on this first match day in Group H. The 42nd AFC Champions League underway, and it's a very tight game. Not too many risks being taken by either side. The better chances certainly have been for Ventforet Kofu. They played extremely well, considering this is a debut for them in continental competition. It's an enormous occasion for a second division team, and they look perfectly at home, tactically managing a difficult away tie like this. And they were so successful in the Emperor's Cup in games away from home. They had to play a lot of matches on the road against top-level opposition in the J1 League. So it's no surprise to see them do well away from home. It's just a question of whether they can hold on here, because there's an opportunity for Antonis. It's now Arslan, and a rather awkward one for McLaren to take. Half a chance, but no more. And it's also a question, not just of whether they can hold on, but whether they really choose to push for the win. I did say I thought some changes were coming. Getulio and Manato Shinada are waiting to come on. Getulio is the interesting, almost wild card impact player here. He could have a real bearing on the match in the last 10 or so minutes. And here come those changes as we look back at this half chance for Jamie McLaren. He certainly can score from that sort of position. There was just a little too much height on the ball for an effective volley. On comes Getulio, the 26-year-old from the northwest of Brazil in Alagoas. We're just waiting for clarification on the changes here, because initially it seemed that Kazuhiro Sato was going to be departing. Well, changes can't be made yet, it seems. There's a little consternation, but we are expecting to see Getulio and Manato Shinada. Perhaps it's actually going to be Soide Hasukawa. Well, nothing happening at the moment anyway. Arslan. Possession, and plenty of it with Melbourne City in this match, but a clear lack of good goal-scoring opportunities. This might be one of them, though. Touched away by Hayashida, tracking back well. Utaka tried to hold it up. He seemed to be fouled by Ugarkovic. There was a little pull of the shirt. There must be temperance from Ugarkovic, because he was given a yellow card. The foul actually was from Nuno Reis. It was Ugarkovic then who came over and rather protested the decision. Still, we haven't had those substitutions. Utaka didn't quite judge that right, looking for Shuma Miyazaki. And now Yoshiyuki Shinoda saying, please, can we make the changes? So then, Kaito Kamiya and Kazuhiro Sato, the players coming off. And coming on, we have Sodai Hasukawa wearing number 5 and Manato Shinada wearing number 17. Sodai Hasukawa coming into the defence. Centre-back from Tokyo, who joined this season from FC Tokyo. And a player on loan from that same club, Manato Shinada, will slot into the midfield. And perhaps indicative here that Yoshiyuki Shinoda is going to be very happy with a goalless draw. And perhaps look for one last counter-attack if it comes along, but ultimately containing the game seems to be a top priority. It's a hitter. Never know, because they've got players who can counter so well. One of them is Kobayashi. And that was somewhat wasted. More than somewhat, really. It looked as though he was going to bring on Getulio, the Brazilian, not featuring thus far. Well be used and probably will be used later on in their AFC Champions League campaign, but not on this occasion. They've made some good acquisitions to the squad to try to push up back to J1. Ventforet Kofu, they've been in the top flight on a few occasions throughout their history. And it is worth remembering that though they were spectacular in the Emperor's Cup last season, they did finish 18th in the league. This season they are 7th and have a possibility. Oh, that's obviously a foul and a yellow card, surely. From Aziz Bejic. On the cynical side, to say the least. There was no doubt that Juma Miyazaki was away, and he knew he would get caution for it. Substitute, Manato Shinada, the player who, before this season, spent his whole career at FC Tokyo. He's still technically one of their players. He's on loan at the moment. Actually played against an Australian team, Perth Glory, in the Champions League in 2020. His only appearance in the competition. Soadai Hasakawa. Hasakawa fighting hard to make things awkward, and he has made things awkward, so much so that Ventforet Kofu have won the ball back, and there's a little demonstration of why they're so hard to play against. Miyazaki to Utaka, can't connect. Sekiguchi. Shinada, Utaka. Miyazaki. Can somebody deliver? It's going to come in from deep from the captain, Sekiguchi. Utaka's shot is very well blocked by Steven Ugarkovic. That's excellent defending. Though it will be a corner kick as we approach additional time for Ventforet Kofu. They have some aerial threat. Will the delivery be of quality? It was a powerful jump from Inoue. Came back in, I think, from Kobayashi. And we're going to find out soon how much time will be added on at the end of this first match for both teams in the group stage of the 2023-2024 AFC Champions League. 4 additional minutes. Still no score. Very few chances in this second half. The bulk of the good opportunities came in the first. Will either of these sides be able to create the match-winning opportunity in these last 3.5 minutes? Saki. Curtis Good. A tricky one to control. What a good performance today from the captain, Masahiro Sekiguchi. They have not been overawed, that is very clear, this second division team. Now, with the overlap, Kobayashi will pick up the ball, will find Utaka, and it's taken a touch. But only a touch, nothing more consequential. Good play, though, from Iwana Kobayashi, an excellent run. I think there are some calls for whether that should be looked at for a handball. I think they were quite muted. Callum Talbot will be replaced by Samuel Suppléant. 34-year-old, born in Saint-Benoît in beautiful Réunion. He grew up in Lyon. Joined this summer from a spell at Voltaire Plovdiv. Most of his career has been spent in France, though he did have a 3-year spell with Verona. Inoue. Hasakawa. It's with Miyazaki. Miyazaki's ball chested down by Torikai, hard to control. Just over a minute remaining. Ventforet Kofu finishing the game a little more aggressively and offensively, well, they were anyway, than Melbourne City. But it might be that their last opportunity has just disappeared. Tolgai Arslan not interested in a shake of the hand from Manato Shinada. And it does seem as though neither side is enormously determined to try to win this. Certainly not if you're Ventforet Kofu, risking what is a very disciplined goalless draw away from home. No score on this first match day in the 2023-2024 AFC Champions League for Melbourne City and Ventforet Kofu. And it's a good result for the visitors in their first ever continental match. Yoshiyuki Shinada's team proving that they are very hard to beat, illustrating why they've earned their place in this competition against an extremely strong Melbourne City team. At full time, Melbourne City 0, Ventforet Kofu 0.